of crime.
And we're back. Hello, everybody. What's up? Thanks for being here. Thanks for waiting. I'm your host, Jay, with Guilty of Crime, and a happy almost Friday. Y'all know the deal. This is a very controversial topic, so trigger warning. And you guys know we don't do politics. We're not going to make this into politics. And this is a case about racism, and it was made about racism due to the family selling the Black community and others that racism was put into the case in the first place. They sold racism. They sold these people on an idea. And now not only the Black mobs, but Black America feels duped, and they're mad about the lies. There's a new legal team and a strategy for appeal. This is his last opportunity, and I want you to see what we think about it, what the Black community says, and just a fair, straight on what the jury saw. Now, guys, I mind you here, this case, when it first came out, we knew that it was a Karmelo Anthony murder case. We knew that Karmelo told us that he did this in that first body cam that we're going to watch today, because there's been other body cam. He cried and he said, I didn't allege to do it. I did it. Now, he's not alleged. Karmelo Anthony is no longer alleged to be anything. We want justice for Austin Metcalf, but we now have a convicted killer named Karmelo Anthony. A Texas jury convicted him, 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony, of murder in the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during that 2025 high school track meet, guys. Anthony, who was 17 at the time of the killing, received 35 years in prison on a sentence on June 9th, all right, 2026. He's been transferred. He will be transferred again, and he wrote himself he used some paper, scratched it off, and said, I need an appeal. I need to get out of here. He's afraid. The Black community is turned against him, and well, we know how the white community feels, all right? The case drew national attention, not only for the violence itself in the act, but the racism and the fundraising campaign, the racial narrative that was pushed by the Anthony supporters. Now there's a legal battle, and Karmelo Anthony is no longer alleged to be a murderer. He is in fact convicted, and he should have taken the stand. He should have showed remorse. He shouldn't have had his family out there bashing and trashing the victims. All right, right after he murders these twin boys, one of the twins takes him away. We have a gracious father that says, I forgive him. I don't like it, but I forgive him. Not 1 ounce of remorse from that side. Instead, they went straight to the money. They got all the Black community excited by saying that this is what happened. And guys, this is over. This trial's over. He's a convicted killer. We now have the video that shows beyond all doubt that this was not a force that was reacted upon. It has to be the same force. Texas, you don't have to run. I'm not sure that it's a stand your ground, but you can meet the same force or deadly force. A punch with a punch. Okay? A kick with the kick, a hit with the hit, a knife with the knife, a gun with the gun, but not a fist, not a push with a knife. And don't spread lies, guys. I'm going to tell you, the parents spread so many lies I didn't even know until today. I didn't know they said that Austin Metcalf was on drugs while he was playing football, and it wasn't the stab that killed him, it was the drugs that killed him. All right, that was it. That was what happened. And then Karmelo got jumped. Guys, remember, this is a freaking hoax that was sold to the community, to the Black community, to raise funds and to cause a racial divide in order to try to start a PR campaign to get Karmelo off. Okay, like I said, instead of saying it's an all white jury, that's not true. The true is there's no Black people in the jury. But why? All right, so they're selling false narratives. Nobody's excited by it, and there's still racial tensions. But I mean, you're never going to be bored with Guilty of Crime. So once we get through the, I'm gonna show you the notice of appeal, the dream team, what's happening. I'm gonna show you how this guy, he sure does have a party little mouth there in that picture, and he sure does look real party right here too. His lips look very kissable, and you know what? The guys in prison think so as well. There's a target on his back already. And had he not lied to the Black community and caused the outrage and took the money and ran, because now he's indigent, guys. Now he is 100% claiming to be indigent. He doesn't have money to pay for this dream team of his. Okay, and the dream team, look at this. Convicted killer Karmelo Anthony claims he's penniless. In an appeal, despite major donor-funded legal campaign, he was sentenced to 35 years for the 2025 murder of Austin Metcalf. All right? He got an appeal. I'm going to show that to you. We already know what happened. He was convicted a couple of weeks back, June 9th. He was found guilty, 35 years, sentenced, sealed, delivered. Buddy, get out of here. There's your mugshot. You're gone. That's your problem. You got $634,000 for Give, Send, Go, and you're telling us you're penniless? And guys, don't just take my word for it. I'm going to bring up the PDF where he says, I'm word for word what he's saying. He's out of money. He needs help. He doesn't have any, and they're filing an appeal. So he's got a dream team on his behalf. The request comes after the Give, Go, Send raised $634,000, nearly $1.4 million. Where is the money? That's what people want to know. However, the online campaign was taken down following his conviction earlier this week. Now, I didn't even realize the appeal was in here. I have already downloaded it. Let me see if I can, since it's here, I might as well just pop that on the screen if I can. Of course, they don't make it as easy. Open an Acrobat, yes. All right, let's check this out together real quick, my friends, and then I'll say hello and everything else that we do. If you guys just came in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. I noticed that we already started getting to the goal today. I do appreciate that. Welcome in. All right, let me thank Cool and Chris for the $5 super chat. Have to support the goal as well as choo get the party started. Oh, this case, guys, let me tell you, I mean, people are raging, and he's going to have to deal with it. Karmelo Anthony's going to have to deal with the backlash when he gets transferred to prison. I'm sure he's getting backlash in jail now, but hey, we'll see how that goes. So welcome in, everybody. How you doing today? Let's say hello, and then I'll read this, and then I'll say hello to everybody. All right, let me just show you, because this appeal was filed the day after, not even a full 24 hours after he was convicted. All right, 29th District Court. And I want you to know, a lot of his supporters have turned on him, including, guys, you guys are not even going to believe this when we get to his supporters that were so adamant. They've turned against him. Why? Because there was a gag order and nobody was able to actually see the video and get the information until the trial came out and things were unsealed. Once they did, they felt like they were duped. Now, Karmelo Anthony puts a defendant's notice of appeal and pauper oath appointment of attorney on appeal. He also wants a new legal team, which he's got, and it's a dream team. All right. To the honorable judge of said court, comes now the defendant in the above cause and states, I am the defendant in the above cause. I was convicted in this cause and now give notice of appeal to the Texas Court of Appeals for the 5th Supreme Judicial District of Texas, of Dallas, Texas, and I am penniless. I am destitute and indigent person, too poor to employ counsel to represent me on an appeal, and too poor to pay for or give security for the statement of facts and a true copy thereof herein. Wherefore, I pray that the court will appoint an attorney to represent me in this appeal, and that the court will order the court reporter of the court to prepare and deliver me or my appointed counsel the original and true copy of the statement of facts in this case, together with all exhibits attached thereto, if practical. Before me, undersigned, personally appeared the defendant, duly sworn. All right, he crossed it out and just put Mike Gould. This was not even the right paperwork. They grabbed this from a different district, crossed it out, put his name on, changed it down here, Collin County, Texas. Boom, ordered. And here we are. All right, here we are. And I'm telling you, these are the people that are representing him, and even they don't believe in it. So let me say hello to everybody. Let me put justice for Austin Metcalf, and then we'll get into it. Thank you, Cool and Chris, so very much. Good to see you, my friend. Foxy Amazon, thank you for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you received that membership, please thank her. Kristen, good to see you. Holly, my girl, thank you. I think Tiff might be off all week. They're having storms and she's got things going on. So, Holly, when you could be around. Synth also has stuff going on. Thank you, Foxy, for being here. Mama Pearl does a great job, actually. _ Michael, it's sad his parents didn't even stay for sentencing. They sure didn't. Just wait until we get into it, my friends. You guys, like I said, trigger warning. And please, this is a drama-free zone. We can agree to disagree. But if you verbally attack somebody or start talking politics, you're just going to get kicked out. Because frankly, this is not political. And this was never racist in the first place. All right. They sold racism to the media in order to get this to happen. Well, even the Karmelo supporters, even the low IQ, ignorant idiot supporters are now thinking twice again. All right. And they say it low vibrational, by the way. They call it low vibration. All right. Good to see you guys. Coffee and Dog from Vermont, from California. How you doing? You guys, I'm telling you, let me show you I'm going to show you some things, and then things that were released that you might not have seen, like the knife, like the blood, like the things in court that happened. You saw none of that. All right. They love. Good to see you. How you doing? Cara, I love your no nonsense approach, Jay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is one of those cases where it's like, all right, let's get to this last ditch effort strategy for appeal. And then when we start reacting to the videos, then you'll see exactly what I mean. Call it like it is. Exactly. There was no self-defense about this, and they knew it. Maggie, they knew this was not a self-defense case. They knew the defense knew that this was a case of what was the punishment going to be. And they messed up. Frankly, they messed up. Karmelo should have taken the stand. He should have shown empathy. His parents shouldn't have lied at least 13 times that we can verify. All right? That's what should have not happened, and it did. So now we've got this young black man, 19 years old, convicted for killing this young white man that never gets to see the next day, never gets to see his twin brother, never gets to see his parents, never gets to see anything because, well, Karmelo decided to take his life. Why did he take his life? Some people say he was having a bad day. Some people say he was mad because he was suspended and not supposed to be there, and he just happened to take it out on the wrong person. All right. Oh, his parents 110% used the money for everything except legal representation. And you're going to see, because the black community is more pissed off than you, me, them, they, him, whatever. They're mad. Lying ass. If you're talking to me, then, right? Lying at. You gotta love these people that come in and don't even know anything. Those are the low IQers, right? Okay, so take a look. Let me show you some of the things that we now get to see. All right. Get your ass off here. Yeah, just get rid of the trolls. I don't have time for them tonight. All right, so Sarah Field says extremely interesting statement from Justin Moore. Now, guys, this is a part of the legal team. This is part of the Karmelo Anthony legal team. All right. Yeah, just basically, if you think it's a troll, if it walks like a troll, talks like a troll, it's a troll. Hashtag get rid of Steve. These parents are laughing at their son. Horrible. Just wait. I'm not going to, I don't say it and then don't back it up, guys. You know, we come with the receipts. Let's go. All right. Let's go. What's up, App Viking Treasure? How you doing? Allie, how you doing? Oh, they were there for the money. They didn't even stay for the sentencing. All right. They have extremely interesting statement. Justin Moore. Guys, that's a member of Karmelo Anthony's legal team. They have virtually no chance on appeal. We're going to get to that next. This is his legal team saying that. What I find most interesting is even Karmelo's own legal team seems to be throwing his parents under the bus, as well as the community. When the people closest to you start pointing fingers internally, that you should tell everything you know. All right, so there's Justin Moore, and that's the Karmelo Anthony supporter. He says 35 years. They showed no mercy. Kind of hard when the defendant's parents had a press conference mocking the dead victim's father right after the incident. Y'all non-lawyers can argue about it if he were guilty or not. Most real lawyers realize this was a punishment case. With that being said, the case, you simply don't run around going on a press tour touting a false narrative. Guys, I'm going to add racism, but he says, I'm pissed. And it's the people that were around Karmelo Anthony who sold this story to the folks trying to sell racism for personal gain. Really showed out this time, huh? All right. So I'm going to take you to another one. I'm going to show you some of the, again, trigger warning, because I'm going to pull up the stab wound and a couple of really triggering things that happened to this is the stab wound, guys. This is the stab wound. This is a stab wound that you're going to see in a little bit that was verified that Karmelo Anthony did it. Okay. Agree with Justin. What do we got here? How is people taking this? How were people taking this? Brandon, Steve. I wish I didn't have to your page about to get taken off. Is it though? Why do you gotta leak? You gotta let those people put this guy in a timeout. You gotta get rid of the trolls. My page is about to get taken down. Oh my goodness. Don't frighten me. All right, so look at this, guys. This is backpack with blood in it. There's the knife. There's him being arrested. And when he was arrested, there was the blood. All right. And that comes from Donat. I don't know if you know who that is, but Donat posted. Again, he's in the Black community. New Karmelo Anthony court exhibits just dropped. Collin County officials officially released the evidence exhibits from Karmelo Anthony trial, and some of these images are hard to look at. The knife represented as the murder weapon wasn't. Coach Redmond's blood-stained coat with his desperate attempt to save Austin, and medical examiner exhibits documenting the fatal wound. No more social media debates, no hashtags, no hot takes, just the raw reality of what happened on April 25th, the afternoon at Memorial High. This divided the internet. It's still continuing to do so. All right. Sparked nationwide outrage, arguments, and dominated the headlines for months. But the exhibits and the video tell a much different story. All right. I got to tell you, like, when you see this stuff and you finally see the video and you finally see the evidence, how can you dispute that? Now, I don't know what the trolls are trying to really troll about. I don't know what narrative you're pushing. At least if you're going to come in here and troll, at least tell me what you want to say. Like, do you have more words than one syllable words that end with a K and start with an F? Come on, low IQers. Say something intelligent and I'll at least post your comment. You're gonna come in here and say, get. Really? You can't even do a couple syllables with the full sentence? Come on, guys. You guys, lame. This shit's over. Dear Black America, stop falling for the grift. I want this guy, TJ the Realist, to I wanted to put him on the show because I like his content and he needs to get more exposure as well. So let me pull this down. I want you to see what he has to say, and then we're gonna get into everything else, right? It's gonna be a hot topic today, and I'd like to zap a few trolls. I'm totally in the mood to zap these one syllable, 2-word sentence, only can say a cuss word people. You know what I'm saying?
In this yesterday, there's no guarantee you'll even be granted an appeal. You can appeal all you want, but if you don't have reasonable doubt or like a reasonable reason to be appealing, you're not going to get granted that appeal. If you are granted that appeal and the conviction is overturned and you're retried, he could get a longer sentence. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
And let me say this real quick. Based off the evidence that we have, based off everything that we've seen from the testimonies, the trial, everything, doing an appeal is a very risky thing to do, especially the fact that they found this. I was about to cuss. I'm trying to work on my cussing in my video, so y'all work with me. But they found him guilty within a week.
Guys, they found him guilty. The trial lasted for 4 days? And the jury came back then with less than 3 hours. And it's funny because in a minute, this guy's going to say, oh, sorry about the nip slip. Yeah, we got 2-word trolls. I mean, you really can't fight with somebody that's of a lesser, of a lower level. When someone's on a low vibration, the only way you can get down on that low vibration if you stoop down to it. Otherwise, all right. Let's watch this. TJ the Realist, go sign up for him. I like his content. I got blocky block today because I was shared my opinion where others were sharing theirs. Some people are super fragile. Yeah, they're super fragile and they're buying into nonsense. And then you got these, low IQ mother truckers that they can't put a sentence together, but they know how to cuss, right? They know how to say, they think they're hurtful words, but guys, it's not. Try better. I'm 40, gonna be 47 in a few days, not even, or a month. Come on.
Maybe a week and a half, because the evidence was just boom, 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 right there. Yep. Nip slip, my bad. So they found him guilty quick as hell, right? This appeal, this little dream team that he got going on, this is a comedy show, right? And all they're going to do is continue grifting the Black community for money. That's all they're going to do. Right. And I see a lot of y'all are getting y'all hopes up. Y'all are like, yeah, justice will finally be certain, which this is insane to me because Karmelo is a murderer. Y'all are truly acting like if this was just from the outside looking in and nobody had no clue what was going on with this situation, you would have thought Karmelo Anthony was the one that got stabbed. You would have thought Karmelo was the one that got stabbed and a white person was just let off free. Scotch-free, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So that just shows the low IQ of that particular sector of my community. And what these lawyers are doing, the pro bono, all that good stuff, right? They know that it's a lot of money and popularity involved with stupid people, especially with this case. They know that they can manipulate the minds of the intellectually innocent Black folks. You know what I'm saying? And they know they're stupid. These lawyers, all these people that are coming into this group to help out Karmelo, because they know that Karmelo has no case. He doesn't have a chance in hell. But they know that these people are stupid. So they're gonna get on the map. These people are gonna get on the map, kind of like Johnny Cochran. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is my chance. This is my time. My 15 minutes of fame is about to happen right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that it gotta be that way, but that's just the way it is.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? He ends up appealing the case, winning his appeal, gets retried, gets 75 years.
Yes.
If I were him, I probably wouldn't be appealing it for that exact reason.
Just do your time,
But
brother.
for some reason, I don't think it's his choice whether or not to appeal it. I think it's his parents seeing him as a cash cow.
That's a
But
fact.
here's an attorney on his appeal.
I agree with that.
Doesn't look good either.
What the goal is. If the goal is actually to get this sentence overturned, I think it's highly, highly unlikely. However, if the real purpose is to create racial friction and engage in a publicity campaign that creates the impression that here in Texas, people aren't able to get along well, and that we have major racial conflicts, that could be effective.
Right.
You've got the
That's what they want to do.
Crump team working here. You've got the Texas, the president, Gary Bledsoe of the NAACP.
Yeah.
You got people here who are capable of using a platform to create a narrative. And that's why it's so important that the judge recently released some of the video from the trial so that
That is exactly right, my friends. And thank you. There's one people in the house. Do me a favor, say a prayer that we keep Austin and his family in our prayers. After this, guys, I'm going to show you the black mob that turned against Black America. You'll see that's turned against Karmelo Anthony. And we're going to break some stuff down. And then you're going to see that he's got a hit on him, because boy, does he sure have a purty mouth. And he's going to keep that money coming in for his parents, if all possible. All right. Well, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. But listen, they filed for an appeal. It's not like it's just race baiting. They literally filed for an appeal, and they're selling this narrative. So we want to put it out as much as we can to say this is false. Austin was not on drugs. Austin didn't do anything. Austin was he's the victim in this case, not Karmelo Anthony, not the Anthony family, not the black community. Karmelo did this. Ridiculous.
people could see for themselves just how shallow the claims are.
And that is true. And I'm gonna tell you like this, that's 100% what it is, right? Because they're already seeing how stupid people really are in my community based off all the viral videos, all the lies, Willie D, the amazing Lucas, people like that are just straight up lying, right?
And I love this guy. Please go sub up TJ the Realist, and his Instagram is TJ the Realist 3. He's got like 25,000 subs, and he's trying to do better. Like, he wants more. He's trying to clean it up. Hey, go back and look at my channel 2 years ago, and I probably had a nip slip too. Just kidding. Not like that nip slip. Females can't have that. But I made you laugh, didn't I? All right, but go sub up to him. All of the people that I use the videos today, they have their handles in my video. So please, please, please go sub up to them. It gives great perspective to this case to hear from both sides, right? Because had I just put on the white Megyn Kelly, right? The whitest white girl, which is a badass, by the way. I love Megyn Kelly. She's like just a badass white lady, all right? Just a badass white lady. But it seems very racist to just have a badass white lady and me, Hispanic, female, lesbian, whatever you want to call it, just riding against Karmelo. So let's see all sides. I just put that cat. Maybe one of the mods can drop that. It's at TJ Realist. TJ the Realist. They're all in my description. Here's another one.
I want to talk to the father, not the mother. When I look at this situation, the absence of the mother in front of the camera lets me know that's a grieving mother. And I want to tell you, Mr. Metcalf, I have no quarrels with you, sir.
Are you hearing what he's saying? He's talking to Austin's parents, Austin's dad, and the Metcalfs. Black mobs snap on Karmelo Anthony's parents because they were lied to. They fully were in it to win it. They donated, they went out there, they protested, they put their stake into it, believing what the Karmelo Anthony people were saying, and there was a lie the whole time.
I initially agreed with you, as I do still agree with you. I did my best. I heard you say it, and I made a call without hearing you say it. This is not about race. You have every right to be angry. And I'm telling black people, nobody have a right to be mad at you. You don't have a right to be mad at those parents. If we take us out of it and put those 2 kids back of it because we lost 2 children, we're arguing it. We brought race into it. Black people introduced it. White people accepted it. From start to now, I've been trying to reject it. Why? It takes the focus off both children.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today. We got to talk about it, man. Black folks are sounding off, and they're letting it be known that, hey, we're not standing with the shenanigans. We're not standing, with the people that, feel like, oh, we need to just take out, everybody that disagrees with us.
And you see this beautiful black brother, wise man, beautiful black man, intelligent, more than a syllable, can communicate properly that the black community, all right, this guy is part of that community that supported the Anthonys. He can tell us in English, all right? That's what we're trying to hear. We're not trying to be sold something racist. We're trying to see what happened and move on. Guys, I don't even think that appeal is going to stick at all. And wait till we get to the discussion on that dream team and what they're trying to do to boost their social status and get as much money as they can. Because if another fundraiser goes up, my friends, and they can get another 600,000-700,000 or even greater, then guess what? They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit if Karmelo Anthony spends the rest of his life in prison. They just want the money. Okay? I don't know what happened there. It does it sometimes. Hold on. All right, let me hit play.
We're about law and order. And when someone cuts up and acts a fool and does something just diabolical as Karmelo Anthony did, they should suffer the consequences. And I've said this, and I'm going to continue to say it. I think the sentence was extremely lenient for what he did. 35 years for taking the life of a 17-year-old young man who had his entire life, ahead of him. The Metcalf family sentenced to a life sentence without their son. And yet you still have people out here caping for Karmelo Anthony like he's in the right. These people should be ashamed of themselves, but I am glad to be able to showcase people that are just like, you know what? Nah.
All right, let's go.
You guys are getting
This is why I wanted to show you this interview through here. This was the interview after that Austin's father had with the media. And then there's a partial one of the Karmelo Anthony's side, the mom and the dad. 2 totally different takes on this. One lie, one's a complete and utter lie, just false.
Take accountability. First of all, you've never said, the boy never, ever showed remorse.
Mm-hmm.
Never apologized. The Anthony family decided to kick me out of a press conference instead of, I was there to show the world we could come together. This is not a race issue.
No.
But what they do, they chose that path.
They gave them their entire behinds to kiss. That's what they did.
Didn't choose it.
You guys are getting.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, you're getting threatened by supporters of the killer. I mean, what the hell is that? And what's your response to it?
Look, you're all responsible for 2 things in your whole life. You only control 2 things. That's it. It's your attitude and your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of this little circle, nothing. You control nothing. It's all noise. So if someone chooses to be that way, that's a reflection of their character. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah. When I go to heaven, I feel that my faith and the way I have conducted myself to the best of my ability, I'm not perfect. No, I'm human. I have anger, rage, emotions.
Who's perfect?
And at the end of the day, I feel like I will get into heaven and sit beside Austin, and then I will have understanding.
And I'm glad you guys see the father of Austin Metcalf and my comments versus this man, Brother Wise's comments, and seeing how people should come together instead of this. But I want you to know this is going to happen more and more. People in this day and age in 2026 are going to start doing this more and more. We're going to start getting more and more people that are not the victims, the offenders, putting on these public campaigns. And this was a perfect racial public campaign for the time we're living in right now. But we don't need to buy into it. All right, good to see you, Wyatt. It's been a minute. I like the dad too. I love how he has common sense and he's not racist at all. He tried to join them and they rejected him. He understands that this was never about race.
But for people to lower themselves and show the moral decay of society, to take a dead child and make memes and derogatory terms just because you're trying to defend someone who murdered him. I don't understand the concept.
Yep.
Or what are you teaching our future children? Because I'm only going to be here probably maybe 20, 30 more years.
Yeah.
But I'm more concerned about the future of our children. Those are our leaders. Those are the people that they're going to carry on after.
Now, listen. Of course, Cheryl, I agree with you 110%. What he just said is our children are going to be the next generation that carry on what we teach them. They were born into social media. So thinking social media is amping up racism, no. You know, social media it's amping up racism. It's amping up copycat killers. It's amping up everything because it's social media and we have instant gratification at the tip of our fingers and we can instantaneously just say a lie and start a whole campaign and get lucky and get in the algorithm. All right. So it is social media and that's the new world we live in. Our children were born into that. That's all they know. That's all they're going to know until the rest of the future, even further, AI gets even deeper. That's what it is.
I'm gone. What does that future look like? What are we teaching them?
He's absolutely right, man. He's absolutely right. The behavior is abhorrent in reference to the defenders of Karmelo Anthony. I mean, you've had people, even if it's not real, it's AI generated photos or videos, of people, peeing on a gravesite and, just saying some of the most vile and nasty things, about other Americans. Let's just keep it a buck. These are other Americans.
Yeah.
And it just shows the lack of compassion, the lack of contrition, the low vibrational character of a lot of these people that I refuse to say are my people. And I'm going to continue to say this on this channel. If you are, a follower of Christ, I consider you my brother and my sister. Simple as that. If you are doing the will of the Father, I consider you my brother and sister. Other than that, no way. I don't want to be a part of it. I want no parts of it.
Saw this on the Twitter and I'm like, how is you cool? Are you dumb? That's my immediate thought was, are you dumb? This wasn't a mistake. He sat in a tent of a school he didn't even go to. He brought a weapon on school premises. He was told to leave multiple times. 21 people witnessed and testified that he agitated the entire situation. He provoked the entire situation. He was the aggressor. How was this a mistake? This wasn't a hand-to-hand fight and Austin fell back, hit his head and died. That's a mistake. He reached in his bag and stabbed that kid in the heart. How is that a mistake?
It's not.
How y'all raise your kids right? Because Karmelo Anthony is just one of millions of examples that I've seen on social media of how little Black kids act like they have this sense of entitlement of taking up spaces that they do not belong in, walking around with no sense of accountability, responsibility, or consequences. He is being...
You see what's being said? This is what's happening. This should have never been brought into this crime. This should have never been brought into this crime. This was a crime that happened. Karmelo could have claimed self-defense all day, but that has nothing to do with the color of his skin or their skin. It never was brought into it until they made a PR campaign about it. And think about how mad this community, these supporters. Now, there's people that are white people, every race that supported Karmelo, they're all mad that they were sold a lie. And how do they know they were sold a lie? Was because now the new video shows exactly that. I think we need to break that down together. I have it in that it's really good. I don't know how he did that, but Derek Van Schack, he did a watch how Karmelo Anthony committed this and then try to get away with it. And you'll see exactly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no sorcery, no trickery. This is what happened. All right. And it had nothing to do with the color of their skin. We don't need to hear all this. I just want you to get the idea of what the people are saying.
If your family had to sit through the trial, would you be cheering outside of the courthouse? If the races were reversed, Would people react the same way? Those aren't accusations, folks. Those are questions. I have questions. I also got questions about the process. If over $500,000 was reportedly raised, who controlled the money? How much was actually spent on legal expenses? And why was a public defender involved? What are the actual rules for indigent representation? How did the jury selection occur? Were black jurors present in the jury pool? If they were, why did none ultimately serve? Those questions deserve answers. Can you answer me? There's actually one question I just cannot get past. When did the victim become invisible? Because he's gone. His family has a life sentence of grief. And yet social media has turned this into another tribal contest where you pick a team, you pick a side before you even consider that someone's son was
powerful. He's absolutely right.
Yeah, he's right, but he's pissed, and rightfully so. All right. And the fact that they're playing the victim, the parents playing the victim from the beginning. All right. That's a problem. What happened to the money? I mean, we could go on and on with playing videos of people in the community that are pissed, but we're going to get to that. We're going to continue getting to that after we talk about the appeal and the dream team and how versus Austin's parents versus Karmelo's parents. And this is just a few minutes. I wouldn't even sit there. I can't stand to watch 30 minutes clip of them playing sad face. Believe Karmelo, hashtag believe Karmelo. I'm going to show you the video. You're not going to believe Karmelo or them after you see it.
Family is also talking tonight. They believe the trial was unfair from the start. They do plan to appeal. Arkan Molestina to continue now our team coverage.
A day after the trial, Karmelo Anthony's parents, Andrew Anthony and Kayla Hayes, sat down to break their silence and to let the world know how they're feeling as their son begins his 35-year sentence for murder. Despite what a jury found, his parents dispute their son ever wanted to kill Austin Metcalf.
My son is no murderer. My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself. And that's what hurt so bad.
His mother recounts the moment she addressed the jury and made her plea to them during the sentencing phase.
To have mercy on my son. That's what I told the jury. I know they had their minds made up already, so.
Did you like how she went from not crying to crying? I mean, she's on point with those acting skills. Yeah, what in the actual F? You're absolutely right. And we are better than this. And this, I mean, this is not a popular opinion. Obviously, as we rolled in, trolls just came in and start, your channel's gonna go, blah, blah. Not popular opinion, and it's not a popular issue as I can see, but it will lighten up in a bit after we get through the parts that show you this was all perpetuated on a lie. Everything about this case, and now the world knows, the community knows, the people that supported them knows that $700,000, 600 or something thousand. He just claimed indigent, guys. You can't make that up. It's right there. It says he doesn't have a penny to his name. So what happened to that 600 and something $1,000? Now, Auntie Rhea, I wanted to answer you earlier because they did stop the GoFundMe. It wasn't even a GoFundMe. It was a give, go, send. They pulled it down since his trial was over, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to put another one up for something else. All right. I did, and I wanted to cover that case, but I'm still not happy about that.
Really wasn't much I could say to change their mind.
Both parents fighting back emotions and tears as they described what they believe was a flawed trial.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
They claimed there were inconsistencies from the get-go, despite witnesses who took an oath vowing to tell the truth.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
His father says the court of public opinion had made up their mind about his son long before the trial began.
He was convicted when he walked out of the jail. If you look at the news, all that, he was already convicted. If you look at it, it was already done. It was no innocent until proven guilty. He was already guilty.
He says the threats.
He was already, guys, here's the thing. He was already guilty. There was no innocent until proven guilty because he said, I didn't, this is not alleged, I did it. Guys, this was never a case or a crime of innocent or guilty. This was a case of what his punishment is going to be. Were they going to say, oh, we're going to You never did this before. Nothing happened, nothing in your background. And the force was opposite and equal, right? You have to have an equal and opposite force. If you're going to stab someone, when you bring your knife to a fist fight, make sure that's what you do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They called them delusional, and they said everyone was lying. This is absolutely outrageous because you're going to hear it right from Karmelo Anthony's mouth that says it's not alleged, I did it. So when they're sitting there saying it was already, well, your son he already admitted to, we can see that he did this. These people are just money hungry, guys.
The violence against them continue.
People want us dead. That's what.
After they still got what they want.
After they still got what they still want us dead. I can see, you see, I go look at my phone, people want us dead. They want our family dead.
And now they're preparing to appeal.
They did a number on us.
A judicial process they believe wronged them.
We didn't get justice. A lot of things that were missed that should have been handled a certain way. However, we couldn't say anything. We did what was instructed. We was told. So we just did what we was told.
Ken Molestina, CBS News, Texas.
Oh, well, now you see how they're playing. I mean, guys, she must have taken acting. They must both have took acting classes because they're both looking down all meek. And I mean, this is one of the worst campaigns I've ever seen in my life. And they're saying they told us to do that. Who's they? Was it the dream team? All right, you guys, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this because their own son said he did it. He didn't try to deny it, but he fake cried, in my opinion. And the jury made up their mind. He is guilty and he's sentenced to 35 years and he has a target on his back. And we're going to get that in today's episode.
Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got these suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that?
Come on, guys. Hit that like button. All right, guys, make sure you interact with the channel. I'm going to give some memberships right now while we're watching this, and then we're going to head over to see what the legal dream team is going to do. We're going to watch the actual stabbing itself, so trigger warning, and then after that, we will break down what's going to happen to, more than likely, the target on Karmelo's head. So stay here. Hit that like button. I know the topic is controversial, but if you like the way I present true crime, please help support the channel by liking, subscribing, getting a membership, or gifting one. Thank you, guys. What's up, Victoria? Good to see you. All right, let's get to it.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. I'm going to put your handcuffs for now, okay? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now detained. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's gonna be a gate that's wide open there, and then you come to the victim from there. This is the alleged suspect. Okay. What's there? So nothing on your person at all? Nothing? Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing stabbing? Okay. A little personal there, okay? Just to make sure. Okay. All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me.
That's him crying, guys. He put his hands on me. Again, he makes it enough to cry. He makes enough sound to, he put his hands on me. All right. But then continue. And again, Libra Cole, you're absolutely right. This is so sad. This has not only affected the two boys' lives, but it's affected everybody that's surrounding them. And to bring it further, now they've filed for an appeal, and they've got this whole crew that's going to do this for pro bono. All right. And they spent the money that the community helped with. Guys, I don't know how much worse this can get, but I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? All right, let's get back to it. Damn, this.
I told him not to. He put his hands on me. Victim is over here in the north end. Staff standing to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Already? No. We searched him. Got nothing. I don't know what happened. 4.3.
Yeah, right. Just like his mom.
Sorry, over here. Up to you. It's up to you. This is closer. Let me do one more little check of you, okay? You don't mind for reaching your pockets, anything like that? You good?
I'm wearing some little underwear. Like no man, I don't think so.
What's your name, man?
Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo.
Okay. Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay? What's what? Lean this way? So
Now pay attention to this. There's only like 30 seconds left, and that's when he says, I did it. There's no alleged I did it, and you can see the blood on his hand. So I don't know where this became a did he do it or not? That really never came into play. But then when they started saying that Austin did drugs, and then I'm looking at it right here that they made a fake account, Frisco PD. Someone put up a fake account in the Frisco PD name, and they said that it was that the not long after Austin's life was taken, they put out a report saying that Austin died of a drug overdose. It was not from the knife, and they have the documents to prove it. They spread that everywhere. They also spread the rumor, and it's still being spread, that he got jumped.
All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Karmelo? Let's see, hold on one second. I don't know yet, man. Karmelo, Carara. K-A-R-M-E-L-O. Karmelo, what's your last name? A-N-T-H. Oh, and where are you in? I'm 10th grade. You go to Emerson? Where do you go? Centennial. Okay.
All right, I don't want to go to the next one, but we're going to.
Okay, so let me tell you what's happening in Karmelo Anthony. He lawyered up for
okay,
his appeal with a bunch of these, they're like these higher powered, very race-based lawyers. Like one guy who was chief of staff for Benjamin Crump, who's basically Al Sharpton by another name. And one of them is named Justin Moore. And we just had something extraordinary happen.
Yes.
This is the new appellate lawyer.
Welcome.
Okay, one of, I think, 5 or 6. And he posted something online, which he then deleted almost immediately.
And guys, the deleted post was the one I showed you earlier, saying that there's no way in hell that he's going to get a chance to win an appeal or even to get an appeal. All right. This is all just for publicity for that dream team of lawyers. This is what we're talking about. What happened to the drama? What? All right, hit that like button, guys. Welcome to the Crime Crew. If you received a membership, Callie Licious, you're very welcome. Welcome to the Crime Crew official.
Not soon enough. And here's what it reads. 35 years. They showed no mercy. He's clearly referring to the jury because that's the sentence that Karmelo Anthony got. Kind of hard to when the defendant's parents had a press conference mocking the dead victim's father right after the incident. We'll show you that tape in a minute. Y'all non-lawyers can argue about if he were guilty or not. Most real lawyers realize this was a punishment case from the beginning. What he's saying is we all knew he was guilty. The only real opportunity for good lawyering was on getting the sentence reduced. You know, throwing yourself on the mercy of the court, painting him as a sympathetic person, what have you. This is his appellate lawyer who's about to go in there and argue that it was a biased jury because there were no black people and 3 black jurors got struck unfairly with these peremptory challenges this guy is about to make that argument to an appellate court. Meanwhile, he's saying right here, we all knew he was guilty. It's just a question about punishment.
But do you see why it's important to give these cases a second look, to give the victim a voice, to at least spread awareness about this, because if you're not putting something out there, if you're spreading false information, you're saying things and not showing facts, that's what happens. That's how it gets out of control. That's why the people that backed the community that backed the Anthonys feel like they've been duped. You'll see when we get to that video.
That's all. And of course, the jury, of course, they didn't show mercy when the decedent's father the defendant's father mocked the decedent's father at a presser. This is very unhelpful to Karmelo Anthony's appellate chances. He goes on to say, with that being the case, you simply don't run around going on a press tour touting a false narrative. The false narrative is clearly the racial narrative.
Now, keep in mind, there's screenshots of what he deleted. Keep in mind that there might have been a less harsh sentence had Karmelo Anthony shown some type of remorse, any type of remorse. Now, if the lawyers are doing it pro bono, how are they trying to get money from people? This case has shown people's true colors. Well, thank you, Hobby. I don't know how to say your name because I haven't seen you before, but thank you for coming in. I'll call you Hobby for now. And you're right. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to put this on one person, or I'm not trying to put it on a community of people. This is on Karmelo Anthony and his family and the people that spent the word. Now, Hunter was the aggressor. You're right, Hobby, but it wasn't equal and opposite force. So and we're gonna watch the video. If you want to stay here and watch the video with the equal, it has to be equal force. You can't bring a gun to a knife fight, and you can't bring a knife to a fist fight. That's what I'm saying. All right. That's what it is. I was in high school. You know how many times I got into fights, but I never stabbed anyone. All right. I am the host, and I'm definitely not racist. I didn't know this host was racist. Who's racist here? But you see that though, because nobody's racist. Nobody's being racist here. Good to see you. I'm glad you came in, and I'm glad that you at least are, given a fair shot. But yeah, bye. You totally read the room wrong. All right, let's continue. Guys, raise your hand if you think I'm racist, including the people in the bushes. That's so funny. Wow. You see how things happen like that? You see how false narratives are put out there?
It's what the family had been touting and has been dominating the airwaves since the verdict, and the one they're clearly getting ready to raise on appeal around those black jurors being bounced. This is unbelievable. Like, on our side, I'm pissed, he writes. And it's the people that were around Karmelo who sold this story to folks, trying to sell racism.
Hey, look, he's even laughing.
Gain. Y'all really showed out this time. I mean, welcome to Team Reason, Justin Moore. It's great to have you. He's right. He's right about what he's saying. However, it's not helpful to the defendant, whom is his client. Okay, he represents. Who is his client and whom he represents.
Yes, apparently.
So this went up, and then it came right back down. And now we've looked into this guy, Justin Moore, and it turns out Justin, he's a trial lawyer. His focus is on criminal defense, post-conviction advocacy, complex litigation. Okay, he's worked on a bunch of cases where he's gotten sentences overturned, that kind of thing. He's trying to work with
these are dream team lawyers. I'm going to tell you that right now. But even these lawyers are admitting that Karmelo has no chance in hell of getting an appeal, let alone winning it. So I don't see where racism comes in. Nobody's trying to bully it. Really, Hubby, I'm glad you're coming in here, and I'm thankful that you're not using foul language and you're able to communicate. However, there are no Metcalf bullies. I mean, this is not about the Metcalf bullies or him getting jumped. I'm going to show you in a little bit all of the footage that we have. Nobody got jumped. You're saying I hate myself? I'm half Puerto Rican. I'm not. I might be a little white, but I'm just as brown as you are when I go outside in the summertime. So how can I be racist? They are. And she says it, Josh. She's going to say it. So anyway, it's nice to have people here that don't agree at all and that can't agree to disagree. They can't agree to disagree and they don't agree. That's okay. That's okay. Just as long as you're not cussing and acting a fool, hey, you have your opinion, I have mine.
Rights leaders and so on and represent them. But also, it turns out Justin had a brief stint as an assistant district attorney, and it didn't last very long because he was accused of DWI. Do we have that? Is that a SOT? Hold on, I'm just looking at my list here. Yeah, we do. Okay, so here in SOT 6 is Justin Moore seen during the DUI stop, and this is 2015.
The Black community that are putting out these videos that are saying they feel like, number one, they say Black mob snaps on Karmelo Anthony because they didn't know that he didn't get jumped. They didn't know. There's literally, we fact checked the lies from the Karmelo Anthony family. They've been fact checked, and there's a lot of the Black community. They're not angry. Nobody's being angry or saying any of that I'm showing. They're not saying any of that. They're saying that Karmelo Anthony did not meet Austin with the same force that Austin met him with. Austin pushed him out. That does not require to be stabbed. But when you start to throw in, oh, he got jumped, he pushed him, and then 4 guys jumped him, and the Metcalf boys were bullies, and everybody hates the Black community, then that's where that comes from. So the people are mad. The Black community that supported, many of them are now mad because they feel duped. All right.
They're, unlike here, playing the race card. Watch.
Around 2:30 a.m., Dallas police pulled Moore over on 67 near Ledbetter for swerving through lanes.
I did like 110 to catch up to him, but he was flying.
Officers say they can smell alcohol on his breath. And minutes later, you hear Moore try to tell them who he is.
We got an assistant district attorney out here, and I just like to have a supervisor out here because he's threatening us, saying I'm going to get fired for arresting me and all this and that.
In the video, you hear police eventually move Moore to the back of the squad car as his is towed away. Moore claims his arrest comes down to race.
Are you guys in the list with? You guys KKK?
Now, Moore is somebody that's in his legal team. He's asking if they're from the KKK. Is this an Uncle Tom thing? And I hope you guys understand that he's saying to the law enforcement, telling them that they're racist, and they only arrested him or detained him because he's Black. That's what he's saying. And this is one of the people that are representing or that have represent. You see Justin Moore. That's who we're talking about back there, all the way down to the bottom right. That's Justin Moore. He was in the back of the cop car. He asked if they were racist, Ku Klux Klans. All right. Now, I never bring that in. If somebody doesn't like me or tells me to leave, I never say, it's because I'm gay, isn't it? It's because I'm Hispanic, isn't it? It's because I'm whatever, isn't it? I never bring that into play because I'm not thinking about that. Although that could be a possibility, just like Justin Moore says, but he's ramping it up. He's ramping it up. There he is. That's him. This Uncle Tom, that's him back there.
You can hear officers remind him he's being recorded, but in the moment, he seems to defiantly accept his fate.
How about this fight? I want to be a part of
That's him.
How this is on camera too?
It was, and he was fired.
Okay, the case was ultimately dismissed. He lawyered up. He lost his job. I'm going to guess they thought that was sufficient punishment for him. But there you hear him on that police body cam saying, we've got a district attorney out here. I just would like to have a supervisor out here because he's threatening us, saying, I'm going to get you fired for arresting me. And the officers can be heard moving Moore to the back of the squad car as his vehicle is towed away. And Moore is heard claiming his arrest comes down to race. Are you guys members of the KKK? Are you KKK? He asks. And then he calls an officer an Uncle Tom. They tell him you're being recorded. He says, I hope I get fired. I don't want to be a part of the effing Dallas County with this blank. And I hope this is on blank and camera too. It was, and he was fired. So now we see what the background was that got him hired as Karmelo Anthony's appellate lawyer. But his tweet certainly seems a lot more reasonable and less of a race baity than he was in 2015. And here's the moment that he's referring to when he says, of course the jury had no sympathy and no mercy for Karmelo. Kind of hard when the defendant's parents had a press conference mocking the dead victim's father right after the incident. Remember?
So who's a bully here? Let's ask. Which parents pose themselves as a bully in this situation? Which parent went to the rally Didn't even care. Did not give two shits that the whole rally was the black community trying to bring racism, and they kicked him out. So does that mean that you're racist against Austin's dad because he wasn't black? You kicked him out? It goes both ways. This is crazy, man. We're in a crazy, crazy time. Crazy time.
This, we showed it at the time, SOT 3 with their parents lurking behind their representative, Dominique Alexander, the biggest race hustler in the entire case. Watch this. Jeff Metcalf had shown up at the presser, and he didn't like that.
What we've seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character. Who was not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it.
Wow.
And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism.
Oh my God.
We have conservative.
Guys, this is the biggest gaslighting situation I've ever seen, just laid out right in front of you. You remember that thing where you look at a color, someone says, is that green or gray? And you got some people saying it's gray, but it's clearly, well, this is not a case of that. This is not a case of that where people see it different because of the video, because it did do that, and we're lying about that. Right after this, I'm going to show you the video, and we're going to light up the screen with Karmelo and what he did and how he took off and what was done. This is, I mean, unbelievable. They're acting like the Anthony family's a victim. What? All right, guys, hit that like button, get a membership, gift a membership, support the channel. Thank you.
Conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop.
Look, did the parents object? Did the parents say, stop that, Dominique, stop? He's a suffering father, just like we are. No,
nope.
No, they allowed it all. Okay, one other update in that case. A disgusting thing is happening on TikTok, the same as after Charlie died, where they're celebrating Austin's murder, making light of it and dancing to it, along with a, quote, viral rap song called Austin Bop. Watch.
Austin Bop, knife had blood on the tip when he dropped. How the fuck you gonna stop me? Shit, niggas going out back Marlo out the box. I sound when he died. The fuck with the floor, but I got side. Nigga, text my phone, talk about he don't like my shit. He got stopped on knife. Austin Bop, knife had blood on the tip when he dropped. How the fuck you gonna stop me? Shit, niggas going out back Marlo out the box. I sound when he died. The fuck with the floor, but I got side. Nigga, text my phone, talk about he don't like my shit. He got stopped on knife. One session was over, coughing up bloody, think he got Ebola. Nigga sit to the spittle. I said all the drink for like I go fly face, get behind some waving up. Austin Bop, knife had blood on the tip when he dropped. How the fuck you gonna stop me? Shit, niggas going out back Marlo out the box. I sound when he died. The fuck with the floor, but I got stopped. Knife had blood on the tip when he dropped. How the fuck you gonna stop me? Shit, niggas going out back Marlo out the box. Austin Bop, knife had blood on the tip when he dropped. How the fuck you gonna stop me? Shit, niggas going out back Marlo out the box.
This is so sick. For the record, it happened to be all black people there, teens from the look of it, maybe.
Can we believe that? Yeah, we can believe that as we come on. And every one of you knows that comes here every day to Guilty of Crime, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You guys know where we stand in this community. You know where I stand in this community. And to see people come in and say, your channel's going to get taken for showing the truth, for actually bringing receipts and not making up false narratives. Is that what? Is that why? What? You guys, if you can believe it because you're seeing it right in front of you. And guys, I'm not into trolls can come and I can get rid of them. My mom helps get rid of them. We had a conversation yesterday and she was knocking out the trolls. I said, just knock them out, Mom. I know how to ignore trolls. I'm not dumb. I'm not as dumb as I might look. But when people come in here and they troll me, I use that as content to say, look, here's the point I'm making. You that's what I'm saying. And I can use them trolling me to show you how I react and what my opinion is. So it's my platform. I'm not stupid. I'm not being baited by these trolls. I actually want to have an intelligent conversation with somebody that has something to say with more than 2 syllables. All right, let's continue.
Young 20s in that last case. The words are Austin Bob, knife had blood on the tip when he dropped, coughing up blood. You think he got Ebola. That song was uploaded to Apple Music on June 10th, the day after Anthony was convicted. According to Libs of TikTok, the song was also on Spotify, but it's
Look at that shit.
not currently. The artist is some little known 600 Naughty, which has 1 album released in March, and the artist's topic page on YouTube only has 236 followers, but the kids on TikTok love it. They love making light of Austin's murder. They have a post
What's up
of
in
him under this 600 Naughty that shows Austin Metcalf's face and a sign that reads, I learned my lesson. That like accompanies that single. It's so sad what we've become. I mean, Lucy Martinez is still working in, was it a preschool in Chicago? The one who did the fake shooting into her neck as the Charlie Kirk as the Turning Point vehicle went by. There have been so many people who've done this in the wake of Charlie's death. Now we see this in the wake of Austin Metcalf's death. And he was a civilian. He wasn't political. He wasn't doing anything.
Nothing.
He literally did nothing wrong.
But you know what he is? He's a good old boy from a small town, and he's a football star. And I'm sure he was really popular at school. I'm sure he had girlfriends, and he had a twin brother. And I'm not saying they were perfect. I don't know anything about them, but they don't have a rap sheet. They don't have a case. They didn't do that. If they were bullies outside of the scope of this, that has nothing to do with the fact that Karmelo brought a knife to a fist fight and he killed ultimately Austin. And then the way they handled this whole thing, the way they handled it, we're still seeing it play out. Do I think he's ever going to get an appeal? Absolutely not. I think it's all BS. And that's why I called this the last ditch effort for Karmelo Anthony. Last ditch effort.
We got to find our soul. We got to get back into those.
Thank you, Trotter Daughter.
And pray for enlightenment.
So much.
And in the case of these kids, forgiveness. And their parents need to step in and remind them of what love is, what kindness is, what the Lord wants of us all.
Sorry, I missed
Thanks
that
for watching
video.
this clip. If you're new here, subscribe.
All right, guys, now we're going to see it right in front of us. I love that they did such a high def version and as much as we can get. And we're going to watch this together. Watch this. No, we're not twisting anything, but then we're going to break down the psychology of it. Let's go. Thank you, Indy Isham. And thank you, Trotter Daughter, for the Guilty of Crime membership. If I didn't thank you, I'll come back and thank you. Check this out. This is it, guys. This is what the jury got to see. Okay? There's Austin. We'll break it down.
Indeed, at the event. At this moment here, we see a highlighted person arrive at the event. Can you guess who it is? Yes, it's Karmelo Anthony, and we know this because he's wearing a gray sweatshirt here. So what's curious here is that he walks past all of these other track tents and then apparently goes and settles under the Memorial High School tent. Kind of interesting he chose Memorial High School and not any other school to settle under. Nevertheless, it's very uncommon for other students outside of that school to be under another school's tent. Now we're going to zoom in all the way to have a better idea of what's going on underneath that tent. This camera angle is very far away, so we're not going to get a very perfect picture of faces or anything like that of what we're seeing here. But nevertheless, we are going to be able to see what general type of activity was going on underneath the tent. Karmelo was wearing a gray sweatshirt that day, and Austin was wearing mostly all black. Although we don't have the picture of Karmelo making his way under the tent, we do have what appears to be that altercation of what appears to have happened underneath the tent. We have a bit of movement underneath the tent, but still we don't have a really good idea of what could be possibly going on underneath the tent.
They all said Karmelo was the aggressor. They all said they were sitting under the tent and he walks up and just sits under there. Didn't say anything really to anybody. All of them said that Austin started off calmly. You know, hey man, what's going on? You shouldn't really be here. Not in any aggressive way. Everything was calm. And they said Karmelo was just like not responding, just saying no, or if you want me to move, you're gonna have to make me move. Just
there you are. It's Cody. See, I knew I liked that guy. Now he's back on the scene. Yeah, low vibers get lost. The whole ordeal reinforces a lot of stereotypes to some people, unfortunately. And, I talked about that yesterday. We all have confirmation bias. All right. We all have that within us, and we need to recognize that. That is the truth. But we need to recognize what our biases are and move forward.
Being real adamant about not leaving the tent.
At this point in the footage, and given that testimony at trial, this is where students were yelling multiple times to Karmelo Anthony to leave their school's tent.
Others were chiming in. Some of the people on the witness stand, some of the students testified to that they were chiming in also. Like, what are you doing here, man? Like, and none of them said any cussing was going on.
It wasn't his school's tent to begin with. And if you look, it wasn't even raining very hard. So it was no real reason to be under a tent in the first place. And at this point, there appears to be even more movement going on underneath the tent, which indicates that there's more agitation and possibly students getting around Karmelo and saying, leave our tent, because it's not his tent to begin with. So students from other schools shouldn't be under another school's tent.
The students did admit that Austin started getting a little heated. Karmelo started getting a little heated, but then they started talking about Carmelo's hand in the bag. And then that all of them said that same thing that we've heard, Chris, the phrase, touch me and find out. Touch me and you see what happens. That they would not have expected someone to bring a knife to a track meet on school grounds. Austin.
But he's so cute, though. I want to put him in my pocket. He's so cute. You guys see on my YouTube page, I have a picture. I'm standing with him at CrimeCon, and I thought he was taller. I mean, he's a handsome guy, right? But when I stood next to him, like, oh, how cute. He's so little. Yeah, right. I'm a racist. I can't like the black community. I can't agree or disagree. He's adorable. All right, let's continue. That's so funny.
Looked at him and said, oh, you don't have anything in that bag. Like calling his bluff, pretty much. He had his hand in the bag and said, oh, you don't have anything in there. We live in Frisco. You aren't going to do anything.
And according to multiple accounts, Karmelo had his hand in his bag and said, well, if you're going to try to move me, touch me, and find out what's going to happen. And what Karmelo was ready to do was holding his open flip blade knife. And the fact that he said, touch me and find out, indicates that there was premeditation in this case.
I'm an attorney, and here are my thoughts on. I think a lot of people think that premeditation requires some well thought out plan that takes a month to plan out. That's not true. Premeditation can be as if you planned it for even just a second. And unfortunately, what hurts Karmelo Anthony the most is when he said to Austin, touch me and see what happens.
Juror sentenced him to 35 years in prison for the murder of Austin Metcalf.
Which, as you all know, caused Karmelo Anthony to be...
And guys, mind you, I want you to understand, he gives it away. Yeah, sports is a lot of trash talk. I agree. A lot of trash talking. I've heard things about my mom playing football I didn't know, but I stayed there. You're right. Absolutely. I talked about that in the first episode of this case. I said, if you're a Raiders fan and you go into the territory of the 49ers, guys, fights happen. You know how many times fights happen at the Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas or the Oakland Stadium? It happens because these guys, they get like that, and it has nothing to do with race. It's just them getting their egos up. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they're drinking. But you don't stab somebody, all right? And then play it as you did nothing. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Convicted of first-degree murder of Austin Metcalf.
That's where the inconsistency comes in. Was it a hard push? Was it a one-handed push? Whatever it happened, they say that's when the stabbing happened so fast.
So this appears to be the key moment here. Austin Metcalf is on the left. Karmelo is on the right. Karmelo again said, touch me, find out. And it appears Austin on the left gives Karmelo, who is on the right, a little shove. It appears it could simply be a shoulder shove, like a guy would simply do to another guy. As you see, there is no real bodily injury because basically all the kids underneath the memorial tent were all just asking Karmelo to leave. And the very fact that Karmelo could have left at any time because there was a lot of room for him to leave. He could have escaped to the right that we see here. He could have escaped up the bleachers. He could have left at any time because that's all the students.
Now, think about this as well. I heard this earlier. He gave himself away when he said the verbiage, I told him to touch me and find out what happens. Guys, listen to the verbiage again. I told him to touch me and find out what happens. Not I told them to touch me because allegedly 4 people jumped him. They were bullying him. He didn't say in those words, I told them to see what happens if they touch me. No, I told him to see what happens if he touched me. He went into his bag. They looked up and he stabbed him in the heart. All right. I know Raiders fans are even worse, girl. What are you talking about that? I know. Absolutely inquisitive, P. We got to stay on our lane too. And not because we're black or Hispanic or Puerto Rican or white, just because people are crazy. Period.
Wanted from Karmelo is to leave their tent because he wasn't a student of Memorial High School. Now, Karmelo on the right responds by stabbing Austin Metcalf in the heart with his 3.5-inch flip blade knife. Now, right after Karmelo stabs Austin, he runs out of the tent.
After the stabbing, where did Karmelo go? Student, I saw him run up the bleachers.
However, it appears that Austin is still standing and just seems a little confused, but all of a sudden it looks like Austin collapses and falls down on the bleachers.
All of them said that they didn't even realize what had happened because it had happened so fast. I mean, including Austin Metcalf himself. They said when the stabbing happened, they said he looked at Austin and he was just stumbling back and he just, was doing, a motion like this. And then he pulled his shirt up and that's when they saw the gaping wound. But not one of them said they even saw a knife.
Student, I see the hole in his chest and blood. He starts screaming for help.
He said, you got stabbed.
Austin fell down and looked unconscious.
And Karmelo in the gray sweatshirt pops his head out of the tent, makes a mad dash, throws his knife on the bleachers. There's a lot of confusion. If you notice, everyone underneath the tent kind of all evacuate the tent because I think they're trying to figure out what happened to Austin. Karmelo continues to run away down the bleachers and then down the side of the track. At this point, a lot of the people at the track meet have no idea what happened and still are trying to figure out what even happened to Austin. Karmelo continues running down the side of the track. Now word is really starting to get around that there was a stabbing of another student and it was the guy in the gray sweatshirt who did it. He's being chased by what appears to be civilians. And now look at Karmelo. He's just trying to casually walk, saying like, what? There's a stabbing? What happened? Really? Now look at this group around Karmelo pointing at him.
Guys, does it look like he got beat up to you? Have you seen the pictures of his mugshot? Did you see any pictures of Karmelo having a black eye, a cut, a bruise, a bump, a scratch, anything? Did any of you guys see any of that? Because I'm pretty sure that I saw a lot more than that on Austin. Austin had a giant hole in his chest that ultimately killed him very quickly. Okay? You're seeing Karmelo Anthony run away. He has enough. He can run away and run up, and nobody's chasing him to jump him. They're chasing him because that's the guy that just stabbed their brother, their friend, their teammate, their schoolmate. This doesn't make sense. I'm going to show you real quick because some people just came in. And what's up, MM Clar? Love you, girl. Good to see you. Thank you. This is what the jury saw. This is what Austin's brother saw right there. That's why he was out there crying because his brother got stabbed. This is the hole that Karmelo Anthony did, that he made to him. There's the blood on the backpack. Guys, there's the knife with blood on it, and there's Karmelo's hands with blood. But not once did I see a black eye on him, a scratch, nothing. They must be some pretty weak bullies if they can't even give him a bump or a scratch, man. 4 people jumping him. Wow, they didn't do a good job at all.
He did it. Now you have a lot of people running in chaos because they don't know what to do, because you have the perpetrator who just stabbed the other student who's just walking around the track, and you got Austin on the other side of the track who sadly is dying from just getting stabbed in the heart. There's a lot of people that are like, well, what do we do? So that's the chaos. Now we see Karmelo make his way through the crowd and onto the track field talking to, looks like 2 individuals who are wearing darker colors. From what we heard in trial, that appears to be Karmelo's track coach.
Frisco 911, what is the location of the emergency?
Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay.
Well, Jamie knows how to get my attention. He also is on an appeal, Jamie. The case is not far from over. As a matter of fact, there are TikTok trends where they're dancing to a song about stabbing Austin and also pissing on his grave. Also, he just got a dream team. You're good, Smushy McMushy. All right. So this case is far from over. Him being sentenced has nothing to do with any of this. What does have to do is these people took his case pro bono because he filed an appeal. And in the appeal, it said that he has no money. He's a penniless, indigent person that needs legal assistance. So this team stepped in. And again, this team is making it so that they can get out there and get their names. So that has nothing to do with anything other than we're talking about his appeal. And what if it did go through? It probably won't, but hey, we got to put it out there. That's what came out today, by the way.
Do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our tent, but you need to send an ambulance right now.
They're on the way. Okay, give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray Essentials hoodie. He was black. He's standing out on the track right now.
He's standing on the track?
Yes.
Okay.
His blue sweatpants on and John.
Okay, what did he stab your friend with?
I don't know. My friend's bleeding everywhere.
Okay. Where was he stabbed at?
The chest.
Okay. And do you still see the person that stabbed him, or did he leave?
There's adults on him, I think. Yeah.
There's adults that are trying to keep him here?
I need paramedics at Kirkendall Stadium right away.
Okay, what's going on?
I have an athlete that was stabbed.
He was stabbed?
Yes.
Okay, where's the person who stabbed him?
I don't know.
Okay, where in the stadium is he?
We are on the visitor side bleachers. We have Army veteran that's trying to keep compression on the wound.
Okay. Are you with him now?
He is laying here. He
How
is
old is he?
starting to go unconscious.
How old is he?
High school age, so maybe 15, 16, 17.
Okay. Is he awake?
No, he's going unconscious.
Okay. Is he breathing?
Not right now.
Breathing?
No,
he's not breathing.
Not breathing at all?
No.
Coach says he looks down, he sees the blood coming through his hands, and he immediately takes his jacket off and starts, applying pressure to the wound. And he says he sees, the color draining from Austin's face, and eventually starts seeing his eyes roll back.
And as we see here, which is very typical, the first-degree murderer makes his way back to the crime scene. It appears Karmelo is with either a coach or a close confidant at this point, and possibly because this coach or confidant wants to see how much trouble Karmelo is going to be in here. Is it as bad as Karmelo was telling the coach? Yeah, probably, and probably even worse, because Austin died merely seconds after Karmelo stabbed him. The coach continues to walk with him on the track. It's like, oh my gosh, we have a real-life murderer here. And then falls to the ground in fear that he's going to suffer the consequences. At this point, it's reported that Karmelo was confiding in his coaches, telling them that he told Austin not to touch him, and he touched him anyway, so Karmelo stabbed Austin in self-defense. However, a person cannot use lethal force against another person for merely touching them or even just shoving them. It doesn't work that way.
You guys hear that? That's the bottom line. We can't even see color right here. We're watching this video that sees no color. All we see is little figures that are gray running around. We don't know who's white, who's black. It doesn't even matter at this point who's what. What matters is that immediately Austin was bleeding. That's a giant hole. That's a giant hole in his chest. And he died almost immediately, guys. If he wasn't breathing before law enforcement even got a 911 call, then he died very quickly, which I hope that he didn't suffer too much. Yes, rest in peace, Austin Metcalf, and may the family get the justice they deserve, because as they want to run around like clowns doing this shit, they have to relive it again and again. Right, so people ignore the law and say it's how they and if that's what you want to be, then be that way. If you ignore the law you want, then this is what happens. I mean, what do you...
It's because you tell someone not to touch you and they touch you anyway, doesn't mean you can do anything you want to them.
What is self-defense? Is self-defense not somebody touching you that you don't want touching you and you defending yourself?
Self-defense doesn't work like that. You can't stab somebody because they put their hands on you. You got to use equal force with equal force, or it's going to be considered overkill.
You know damn well Karmelo did not try to kill your son. He wanted to defend himself.
Karmelo at this point seems to be a little worried that, wait a second, maybe his idea of self-defense isn't exactly legal self-defense that will exonerate him in a court of law. I think Karmelo was in a really bad mood. He just wanted to cause trouble at the track meet. Psychologically, it's very common when someone may experience a hardship or something that didn't go their way. They sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes they want to take it out on other people, whether it's to start a fight or, in Karmelo's case, to possibly escalate it to something really, really
You guys got to remember, people are running around saying that the Metcalf boys were bullies, but I want you to remember that Karmelo Anthony had already, prior to this, 2 weeks prior, he had already got in trouble for having the knife. And instead of them suspending him, or they probably suspended him, but instead of it going against him, him getting a rap sheet for it or any kind of anything, they let him off with the warning. 2 weeks later, he's suspended from school. He's not even supposed to be there at that track meet, and this happens. And that is a flip knife too. That's another thing. That's premeditation. The time it takes to flip a knife, 3.5-inch knife, that sucker was thick too. A 3.5-inch knife, sometimes they're thinner. That was a giant hole that we saw. It was ready. I agree. I know. You can't make this up. But if you say this, you're racist. Even though we can't see the color of anybody, all we can see is what happened and what he told us happened, because Austin's not alive anymore. So Karmelo gets to have the narrative that he wants.
Terrible, like we see here. Now the track coaches are all with Karmelo at this moment to make sure that he doesn't escape. Now the coaches seem to walk Karmelo to be met up with the police officer who was there that day.
Oh, hold on. If somebody is shooting the victim, they need to be over there. Don't reach for anything, all right, man?
Now this police body cam takes over with Karmelo claiming that he was just protecting himself.
What this process did is shown that black lives do not matter in Collin County.
What I know I learned today is I have to go tell my 21-year-old son. I have to continue to tell my son that was with me and witnessed it. You do not have rights to self-defense. Your life does not matter in 2026.
Just because you tell someone not to touch you and they touch you anyway, doesn't mean you get to do anything you want to the other person.
Can you imagine?
It's interesting that we have a track coach right here who seems to be overseeing the situation. Do you know why he's likely doing that? Yeah, because if Karmelo decides to make a run for it, you have a track coach that can chase him down. No offense to cops, but I'm pretty sure a track coach can run down Karmelo a lot quicker than a cop can. Also, it gives another eyewitness of what occurred when Karmelo was arrested here.
Dispatch 443, I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium.
Yeah, and Officer Cortez certainly has his hands full that day. You have the victim, Austin Metcalf, dying from the stab wound. You have the murder weapon thrown on the bleachers out in the open. You have the first-degree murder suspect right there where you have to arrest him quickly before he either gets away or possibly even harms another person. Officer Cortez is not only trying to handcuff Karmelo, but at the same time, coordinate the medical response team to hopefully save Austin Metcalf's life.
All right. Any weapons on you like that? I'll look here.
How long? I know I'm not.
4-4, copy, I'll be in route.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay, bud?
Karmelo, ironically, is wearing a sweatshirt that says "Fear of God" on it. Karmelo should have feared God a lot more before deciding to do what he did to Austin Metcalf.
Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained.
Everyone else can slow down. Suspect detained in handcuffs.
Hold on. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's gonna be a gate that's wide open there, and then come to the victim from there.
Now we finally have a second officer who arrives on scene. And this is Officer Ricky. Now listen to what Karmelo says right here and see what you think.
It's the alleged suspect.
It appears Karmelo, in his mind, believes that he's going to be exonerated in this because he thinks it's self-defense.
And guys, his parents encouraged that the entire time as well. Instead of saying, son, you should have never had a knife out in the first place. You just got in trouble with that 2 weeks ago. And remember, his mom's a stay-at-home mom. She knew exactly what he was doing, that he's a good kid. And then we see pictures prior to the things that he was doing, and he was trying to be gangster, even though he's not. All right, and bringing the knife and the whining. Yeah, that was not crying, right? I don't get it either. But the fact that there's an appeal and that there's so much attention and money that's just been thrown at this and just lies, it's unbelievable. I don't like covering this any more than you guys like seeing it, but I just have to document it and move on.
So nothing on your person at all? No, nothing? No, sir. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing gonna stab me? No, sir. Okay.
I'm going to be out with this.
A little personal there, okay? Just to make sure.
And what you'll notice is the police officer constantly checking and double checking and like triple checking Karmelo's pants and his clothing to make sure that he doesn't have anything else on him. Do you know why? Yes, it's because Karmelo just stabbed someone with a pocket knife. And naturally, sometimes if someone is going to go and do something like that, they may have more than one weapon on themselves. And someone may say, well, he's handcuffed behind his back, so what could possibly happen? Well, here's the thing. If you have something on you, you could possibly get out of the handcuffs by jiggling the locking mechanism open. Also, if he has something on him, say in his waistband, he can grab it with his hands and possibly use it against someone else or himself.
All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics.
Wait, you mean that's not the victim right there that's handcuffed? And by the way, everybody, mind you, that receipt, mind you, Karmelo was out on bond the entire time, living his best life, suited and booted in a house that I don't know, that they purchased or rented, in a new car with their bodyguards, paid felons, and PR people that were making this case about race. Mind you, all while Austin's been dead the entire time and his family doesn't get him back ever. Ridiculous.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
Now Karmelo cries his innocence of claiming self-defense in his first perp walk.
He was not an aggressor. Karmelo was not an aggressor. He was minding his damn business when the boys came up to him.
Because if we take up for ourselves, we go to jail. If we don't, we die. So it's a catch-22 in this situation. What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point? I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
A common misconception among the public
But how
is
about you tell them don't leave the house with a knife unless you're prepared to kill someone and do 35 years in prison? How about that? How about the fact that it's wrong to do that and only bring out a knife if it's equal force? Now, people like to play that game. He was playing this game from the beginning. Throughout this whole this video that we've watched, I've heard him say at least 5 times that he touched me. I told him not to touch me. Touching you is not stabbing you. Nobody stabbed you. Nobody jumped you. Nobody went after you. But that's the narrative they're painting. What do I tell my 5 sons? How about use equal and opposite force? At least teach them that so that they're not getting prison time.
that if someone regrets committing the crime after the fact, then they certainly must have not wanted to commit the crime. However, that's simply just not true. Do you know why? Yes, it's because they may not have realized they would get arrested, either because they thought they could just evade police, or they thought they were justified in committing the crime. It appears the latter was the case here for Karmelo Anthony. Although he may have wanted to cause trouble because he was in a bad mood, he also appeared to feel like he was justified in committing that crime. He also apparently didn't want to get into serious trouble or arrested either. In other words, he seemed to want to cause trouble and also get away with it.
Victim, over here on the north end, they got staff standing to him right now. This is the latest stuff.
Yep.
Already? No. We searched them. Got nothing.
I don't know what happened.
4.3. Checkers and leave at CPR progress for a little bit. Grifting. She knows the whole thing. Grifting.
Sorry, up to you. It's up to you.
That's fine. This is closer.
Let me do one more little check of you, okay? You don't mind for reaching your pockets, anything like that? You good?
You're just wearing this one pair of pants?
I'm wearing some little underpants.
Oh yeah.
Like no man, I don't think so.
What's your name, man?
Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo.
Have a seat here real quick, man.
I know.
Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy. Okay. Yes, sir. I'll tell you what. Lean this way so you're not resting on your hands. Okay. Yes, all right. See a little bit of blood on your hands there. Okay. Yes, all right.
Now, Karmelo has blood on his hands, and that should really be swabbed immediately. Because if it's Austin Metcalf's blood, it ties him directly to the crime. Because keep in mind, law enforcement doesn't know how this case is going to pan out at all, so ideally law enforcement wants to make sure they have as much evidence as humanly possible here. You don't want Karmelo to suddenly start smearing that blood off his hands, especially when it's concerning blood, which is DNA evidence.
So your first name is Karmelo? Let's see. Hold on one second. I don't know yet, man. Karmelo. C-A-R-A.
K-A-R.
K-A-R.
M-E-L-O.
M-E-L-O. Karmelo. What's your last name? A-N-T-H. We're ready. You in?
I'm in 12th grade.
10th grade? You go to Emerson?
No, sir.
Where do you go? Centennial. Okay.
I'm in 12th grade.
12th grade?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, Centennial. All right. Sit tight for me real quick, buddy, all right? Let me run this guy real quick. I haven't talked to him at all.
Now in the comments, what do you think of finally seeing what happened that day? And does it match what you envisioned in your mind's eye? Let everyone know.
All right, and this guy's crazy, but I liked the video that he put out there. Derek Van Shake, whatever. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. He's got 640-something thousand followers, and he's in my description. Now, here's the good news about this, guys. Everything that we're talking about here, the trial court, this, the only reason I'm talking about this is because today it was like getting a slap in the face for the Metcalf family that immediately the appeal went, well, it didn't go through. The appeal came out and it made publicly, and then we see these public figures trying to be the dream team and get him out. That's a slap in the face to Austin's family. This case has been tried by the public of 12 jurors, and he was convicted. So that's something. That's the good news is it doesn't matter what media or social media says. That is not the court of law. The court of law is the court of law, and that is where Karmelo Anthony is going to be for the next 35 years, because the possibility of an appeal even ever taking place is very low. It's in the 2% range of the judge, or if they go to the higher power Supreme Court, it's a 2% probability that it's going to go through, and he's going to get a new trial. I know that we're upset because Letitia Stout is getting a new trial allegedly, and some of the other folks that are, and it sucks because Harmony Montgomery's dad. Who else? There's another one. Yes, it's very backwards. Yes, both in the wrong. They should have kept their hands off of each other, period. But you don't bring a knife to a fight. And it doesn't matter what you think, what I think, what foul mouth thinks. It matters what the law of court says, and ultimately God. God's the only one that's going to judge him, you, me, her, them. That's not our job. But the court did impose a sentence of 35 years. And that's where Karmelo Anthony is. Now, he race baited people, and he race baited his own community for them to give money up and support them. And now that they know the real deal, there are people turning on him, and he's going into prison. Those same people that are not happy with the lies that him and his family told, they're also going to be in prison with him.
Karmelo Anthony has been sentenced to 35 years in prison. The updates are far from over. They're coming in faster than ever. I have newly released 911 calls and the surveillance footage of the murder for you. Also, a disturbing TikTok.
I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to skip through it since we saw it. I just wanted to get some jumpsuit Pablo in there because ultimately, again, guys, of course, media and social media is going to control the narrative. We're in 2026. That's never going to go away. It's only going to get worse. The media is going to control, and social media is going to control a group of people or groups of people. Just buckle up and be ready for that. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. And that's what's going to happen. And this is what's happening now.
Dance trend by Karmelo supporters meant to dishonor Austin Metcalf. And the man who advocated for Karmelo and his innocence the hardest has now come forward and said he plans to have a hit placed on Karmelo inside prison. I'll explain everything. Let's get started. Trust me, if you know, you know. Now with this
Oh,
mugshot, I see
yes. This is why I wanted to show you, because just days ago, Karmelo Anthony filed a complaint about ongoing sexual harassment. And if you look at the picture of him, guys, he sure does have a purty mouth. Look at how he shaved his hair. I mean, honestly, his eyebrows are perfect. He kind of looks like a bitch on that side of the screen, right?
noggin this guy has. You might want to start growing a mustache, brother. I'm not going to lie. Trust me, if you know, you know.
They don't want to
now
blow
with this
job,
mugshot, I see this
right?
post, and it's actually getting.
The reason he's saying that is because you guys know Jumpsuit Pablo did time in prison. Nobody's gonna want to. No one's gonna make him give him a blowjob. If they don't want facial hair, is what he's saying. They're more likely to be like, get on your knees and suck my D, because he's all clean shaven and he looks pretty. He's gonna be with a bunch of people for 35 years, and those people have life. They don't care about him. He's already being sexually harassed.
Hundreds of thousands, over 1 million views. And so it's kind of circulating, and people are, it says Karmelo Anthony has filed a formal complaint alleging ongoing sexual harassment in prison, claiming that fellow inmates have repeatedly subjected him to inappropriate physical contact. Me personally, I never think that's really funny, no matter what. I mean, you're either against that or you think it's okay in certain situations. I just don't think it's funny. Some people are just loving it and eating it up. It is what it is. That's just me, man. That's just me personally. But I will say this is not true. Number one, because look at this guy's mugshot. You think people are all up on him now. Number two, we have some fact checking going on, and it says this account is a parody news account as stated in its bio description. No credible sources report Karmelo Anthony filing any prison sexual harassment complaint. So that's just not true. It's not true that he's filed a complaint. I have no idea if he's experienced anything like that.
Come on, hit that like button.
Wouldn't be shocked if he did. Wouldn't be shocked if he didn't. Moving on. Newly released 911 call audio. Prepare yourself. This is a student who seems to be very much.
All right, we're going to go past that. We already heard that. And of course, we're just teasing about that. You know, we got to cleanse the palate at the end of it. And by all, by all accounts, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the community is mad. It doesn't matter that he's got a dream team. None of that matters, because when it goes to the appellate court and he has a 2% chance, it doesn't matter. It's just going to get kicked back. He's going to run out of appeals as fast as he applies, and that's it. He's got to do his time. That's the nature of it when you take somebody's life and you don't do it right. I mean, when I say right, I mean it's not an actual confrontation that it was equal and opposite force. Now, mind you, in California here, there is no equal and opposite force. Someone could punch you in the face and you better walk away, because if you hit them back and they break their tooth or they break their arm, they're going to sue your ass. Okay, so I don't ever go around carrying a knife, or if I do, I don't pull it out when I get mad, all right? I know. All right, let's continue.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to that again. Hold on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So here we have the surveillance footage of Karmelo. He's in the white shirt. Up here, you'll see him in a second once he breaks away from the tent.
Oh, there he is.
In this highlighted bubble, he's running. Somewhere around here, he throws the weapon, the knife. He's just skedaddling, running for it.
Skedaddling.
I mean, he's just out of here. There he is.
And that's why I'm saying this case is not over. It's far from over. Austin's family is absolutely still being harassed. They're being swatted, and they're making Karmelo out to be the victim. Not only that, they're making people that are even covering the case out to be racist. I mean, you see that right here on this episode, right? I mean, we're having an adult conversation. I'm not using explicatives about anybody. I'm not being racist. I'm not going on one side or the other. We're going by the law and what we see and the information we have. And yet there's still people going to come in and be keyboard warriors and harass the family, right? They didn't get money to go blow on suits and buy new houses. They got money for funeral expenses and to take time off work to be at the trial, unlike Karmelo's parents that weren't even there to support him during sentencing.
He's running.
Yeah, he runs fast.
Someone's going to grab him here soon. Someone in authority.
Pablo.
Now, don't try to walk now. There's like a mob behind you, like pointing at him. Like, hey, somebody get this guy. You try to quit sprinting and just like walk normal as if like no one will notice you. Yeah, no, don't think so. So here they are. Now they got him. Now you're getting escorted, buddy. Good job. Wow.
And they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? Look here.
I'm going to stop and read that because Austin Metcalf's dad also said the same thing that you said, official Shun. Just pray that Karmelo repents and finds Jesus. God will forgive Karmelo. And may Austin rest in peace. Again, it's all about Karmelo. And yes, we hope he repents and finds Jesus, not the kind of Jesus that men in prison find because they're scared or because they're hiding behind something, but really find Jesus and really be remorseful for what happened. And you know what? The Metcalfs are their prime example. The Metcalfs are a prime example of forgiveness and God and Jesus and the and being good people. It had nothing to do with any of that. So I'll read that. Thank you.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay?
This is body cam arrest footage.
Everybody can slow down. I got the image.
I'm gonna go look for it. I'm not watching this again.
Rap music and
hold on.
Okay. He initially came out in the very beginning of this case against Karmelo Anthony because he's against all black violence and murder and kids thinking it's cool to kill people and being influenced by rap music and gangsters and all that. He initially came out against Karmelo. One day, he took a hard turn and was like, I'm all for Karmelo. I love Karmelo. I love his family. They're great people. It was self-defense. I'm using my internet money to hire boxing trainers to train Karmelo in case he goes to prison to learn how to box, which that's not going to help.
You hear this?
And, all, blah, 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 blah. We love Karmelo. He's singing a very different tune now and even admits that he was paid by the Anthony family to support him. And because he says, I'll just send the money back because I don't support you anymore. And in fact, I will make sure that Karmelo has a diabolical experience in prison. That's what he says. Watch this.
I'm off the Karmelo Anthony case. I ain't putting no goddamn money toward that boy. His daddy too goddamn weak for me. I don't like a weak nigga. His dad ain't willing to die, kill, or go to jail for nothing. That nigga just want some bills paid. Nigga, I'd rather stand with the Jeff Metcalf nigga than I would with Karmelo's daddy. Nigga is weak, dockside and conservative. I ain't standing with no weak ass black man. Nigga, I'm off the case. I'm sending the money back. Go get them weak ass nigga Benjamin Trump here. I'm out.
You see what I'm saying? This is the last ditch effort for something to happen, and the community that supported him feels duped. That's why people don't want this out there, guys. That's why people that come in here and are like, "Oh, you're gonna take your channel down." Why? Because I'm showing what's on the media, what media is putting out from the court. You want to take my channel and call me a racist because I'm showing you what's happening in the world, and I'm being completely fair on all sides. I don't see color. We don't see color. We see gray little figures running around, and we're reading documents. But his supporters are pissed, and that's not on me. That's not on any of us. He's going to be doing time in prison, and he's going to be faced with people just like this guy right here.
So Charleston, he has nothing to say about the evidence or the trial, the court case, the arguments made by either side. He just has to say, Carmelo's daddy is weak. He a weak black man.
I love
So I'm not, no. And I'm going to send your money back. Did you hear that? So Charleston, you're basically admitting you were sent money. Would that have anything to do with the fact that initially you were against Karmelo and suddenly you were all for him? You're going to send his money back and you're done supporting Karmelo. And then if you read the text there that is included in the visual.
No, I agree with you, Michael. In that footage, it's inconclusive and you can't see whether they attacked him or not. But can I go a step further, Michael, and say that in the documentation of not only 911, but in the video and audio that we see, Karmelo Anthony clearly says, I told him not to put his hands on me. I told him not to touch me. And this is what happened. He didn't say, I told them not to touch me. They attacked me and I stabbed him. He said at least 5 separate times that he told him, referring to Austin. Okay. So it's the footage along with the documents, along with what was documented at trial, the witnesses that we don't see because they're children, and the case has been sealed so that people aren't going to those witnesses and swatting them or doing bad things to them. So yes, you know what? You're right. The footage is inconclusive. But when you take the whole thing and you put the whole package together, a jury of 12 people found Karmelo guilty, and he'll be spending the next 35 years in prison. That's not on me. That's not on you. That's not on them. That's him. So you're right.
This is an alleged message sent to Drew Anthony, Carmelo's father, saying, if you keep making me mad and bothering me, if you want to keep this going, if you really want to keep this going, I can have some pretty messed up things happen to him in prison. And I believe that it is not hard. And especially with Charleston being, I mean, he resides in Texas. He knows people. He's been to prison himself. He used to be a gang member. He was a member of the Crips. He knows people and he's got money. You can hate him. You can love him. He's got money and he knows people. That's just the neutral facts. And I'm telling you, it is that easy. They don't care. If you're talking about paying me to do what? To who? Where? Okay. Send the money. And they'll do it. That's nothing. Oh, that's nothing. Karmelo is not going to have an easy time in prison.
Nope.
He's just not.
Especially with
That's
the media.
just a fact. And you know what?
That's not good. It's not good for him what they did.
I don't think he should have an easy time in prison. All this money being raised by people who are just donating because they believe that, you know, if you're white, it's okay for you to be killed.
But not if you're anything other than white.
You don't need to be in there living like a king, eating all your Snicker bars and honey buns and drinking sodas and having all this money. And you probably never get any of that money because your father has proven himself to be such a piece of crap that he's probably just going to take all that money.
He already took it all
on himself, him and his wife.
Guys, he took that money and he used it on himself. Right here shows you the facts of the case. And the facts of the case right here and the facts of the appeal is that Karmelo Anthony signed this and it's sealed and filed. And it says that he's penniless, he's destitute, and he's indigent. He's too poor to employ counsel to represent him on an appeal. Bottom line, all that money, $670,000 is gone. He gets none of it. And he's begging for, you know, whatever and whoever can help him. Shouldn't his parents have used that money to fund it?
And that's tough, buddy. Golly. But you deserve it. I mean, you deserve every bit of it. Did we see him running? in that surveillance. He's trying to get away because it right when it set in, the reality of what he just did, he tried to run and take off. And then it's not even like, oh, he's running because, self-defense. He was scared. He attacked, he reacted, and now he's sprinting away. Then why try to immediately switch 10 seconds later to a casual, I'm just a normal person, I don't want to draw attention to myself, stroll through the stadium to get to my car or wherever, I didn't just kill someone, I'm just strolling, and they got you.
Yep.
What are you hiding? Give me a break. No one in their right mind could support this dude, but I'll tell you further proof that no one in their right mind would support this dude. Let me tell you about who does support this dude still after his conviction. His supporters have started a new trend on TikTok. I'm not going to show you actual video footage because I don't even want to spread the footage of what they're doing, but I will show you a screenshot just as proof and verification and validation that what I'm saying is correct and accurate. But I will not post the actual footage out of respect. But they have started a new TikTok trend where Karmelo supporters are doing this specific little dance to music. And they're calling it the Austin Bop.
It shouldn't have been a race
I don't
thing.
know. Brother, I know you ain't making over $7 an hour. They're calling it the Austin Bop. And they're doing a dance where they imitate what happened to Austin. And it's becoming a trend. And it's spreading. And we need to report these people. We need to report their profiles. We need to get these videos taken down. We need to stop this. We need to scare
they're
people.
Reporting us.
We need to make them scared and afraid of posting these videos in fear for, if nothing else matters to you, you may lose your little stupid, silly little TikTok account if you post a video like this, because we need to be reporting this little trend. And here's a screenshot.
Witness the exact moment when Karmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in this newly released video surveillance footage.
All right, it went straight off to that, guys. Mind you, Karmelo Anthony is a convicted killer, serving 35 years. He's got these people now backing him. They filed an appeal. That's why I came on here today. That, and also just kind of wanted to say he's already in prison, allegedly making claims about sexual harassment. Maybe that's not true. Either way, this is what's going to happen the next 35 years. And yeah, that's it. That's it done. This case is justice for Austin Metcalf, and pray that the Metcalf family doesn't continue to get attacked. Pray that the people that are attacking them don't get a hold of that witness list, because I'll tell you right now, they're trying to get that witness list released because they want to come after the people that were witnesses against Karmelo that said what they saw. They were there. Nobody did anything. He came up, he pushed them, they told what they saw. Guys, there was a prosecution that was put on and the defense did nothing. The defense put nothing on, and they didn't put Karmelo on the stand to say how remorseful he was, how bad that he felt, that he lost his life. He didn't want it to go that way. He was just trying to get out of the rain or whatever story he was using, but he didn't do that. They didn't put a defense at all. And not only that, he said it so many times, there's no alleged, I did it. He put his hands on me. What else do you want? Should we change the justice system so that it only works for certain people? Anyway, I really hope that this just gets denied and we can move forward. Collin County courts rarely televise high-profile criminal trials. It depends on the discretion of the individual judge. Oh, especially in this case, I'm sure, as well as strict rules regarding witness and content. All right, guys, that's hard. This is a tough one, and I didn't want to really cover it again, but I also wanted to document what's happening in this case. And we want the Metcalfs to have justice and for people to leave them alone. What did they do wrong? Their son, their family, they're the victims. All right. What's up, everybody? Hit that like button on your way out. That's all I got for you. We've been here for 2 hours. Hit that like, subscribe, and hype. And again, you may not like this video or the content. This is not my favorite content to cover. I like to cover more lighter content with easier coverage, less trolls, less debate. But let's be real here. This is the situation that we're in. And if it helps one person to see, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that, or maybe I shouldn't, then hey, we did our job. Smushy McMushy, welcome. And everybody else that's new here, if you subbed up, hit the notifications. If you don't like my channel, then just please go away. Go that way. All right. Good night, guys. I will see you tomorrow. And I promise you, we'll have lighter content, so to speak. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm probably going to bring a new case in. We'll see how much time I have. Cool. And Chris, I appreciate that. Baby Guilty Snack Fund is in full effect today. Cool and Chris. And I'm not kidding with you. I'm not joking. I wish I could send you a picture of the pile of snacks that that she fell asleep to. But thank you so much for the $15 family snack. I got it. Thank you for the $15. Mom, thank Cool and Chris for us too, would you? Because I'm not kidding. Baby Guilty this morning, she's in summer. Baby Guilty has summer, and she wanted sushi and ribs and chicken and fruit and chocolate cake. I don't know, but thank you, Cool and Chris. I got home. It was there. We're good. Everyone have a good night. Love you. Hug your kids and teach them to do the right thing so that we don't have to go through this ourselves. All right. Thank you. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Mods, I appreciate you so much. I need you guys. Thank you. Yep. Snack monster. Baby Guilty eats enough for 5 men. All right. Yeah. So does she. All right. Have a good night, guys. I love you. Maybe I'll see you guys out there on the internet tonight. Little Red. Mwah. See you guys.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?